Welcome to Braunhaven. We will be picking up where we left off last week. So these guys have spent a day in Viacaslau, although they are spending the entire week here, and they've paid for a week worth of stabling and rooms at the Bald Mastodon Inn in Viacaslau, and the first day that they were here, they spent time wandering around. They went to the Dangerous Shark Tavern, and they met the daughter of the owner, uh, Odd. And Odd is 13 years old and has grand designs on becoming an adventurer herself. She found in the markets of on the piers of Viacaslau, she has discovered what appears to be a magic sword, and it is sentient in some way. And so she's already equipped. She's just young and needs to learn to use it, and has these grand designs for her future. But in addition to that, they also picked up enough rumors that they know of several dungeons in the area that they are uh, wanting to plunder and deal with. Let's Here it is. And the one that is closest to them is Reykjadalr, and it was um, a religious site for druids, and there has been over the past 2 centuries, there has been sightings of a white dragon that has been terrorizing the region, and it is suspected that this white dragon is uh, using that dungeon as its lair or one of its lairs. And so, last time that we broke, the idea was that they were going to head in that direction, but there are a great many other dungeons. I will give a metagame hint, and it would require significant backtracking from your current position, but um, the probably the biggest chunk of additional XP is in a dungeon called Jotunheim or Jotunheim, that you've heard about, and you've got it marked on your map. In fact, I will show you where that is. So you are up here in Viacaslau, and Jotunheim is down here, actually not far from Arliss. So I will tell you, you know, metagame, that is probably a significant chunk. That's a big dungeon. Before
Well,
we
that sounds. Oh, go ahead with your
no, go
intro.
ahead,
And
go ahead.
oh, I was going to say that sounds like a wonderful idea to take the dungeon master's hint on where we should go. But I mean, while we're over here, I think we ought to kill that white dragon.
Yeah, I mean that's closest. Deal with the closest threat first. That's what I always do. So we would like
Yeah.
to bring attention to the fact that we do have a merch store via Zazzle, and we've got T-shirts and we've got buttons, and there are hoodies. They're black hoodies with the charcoal sketch of the characters from today's game on them. We have Whiskey Rocks glasses. We've got beer steins. We've got all sorts of stuff. There are poster maps available of the Braunhaven campaign setting region. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes directly back into our channel. It helps cover costs of things like uh, um, Incarnate Pro, Roll20 Pro. It even helps cover the cost of our software that we use to post these videos, Wondershare Filmora Wondershare. I forget. It's got confusing names, but anyways, it helps cover the yearly subscription for that. And so, if you want to help us out while getting something cool and showing that you're somebody who is following the campaign and enjoys the books, go over to our merch store and grab yourself a hoodie, and we appreciate everything you do for us. All right, so uh, is there Oh, that's right. Let me bring up this other map. So, the following day, you all have retired back to to the Bald Macedon, and the following day, one of Yarngard's sons, Yarngard being the proprietor of the Bald Macedon Inn, she has her daughter, Halgard, who helps her in the kitchen of the tap room. And then she has her three sons who run Edgar, Gunny, and Vandal, who run the brewery and the stable. One of her sons, Gunny, he comes back. He is the one who delivered the request for an audience um, with the Jarl of Viacaslau. And he's basically his report is that he has given, he delivered the request. Essentially, he was able to get to the gatehouse and say, "Here, can you deliver this to the Jarl?" And and then they, shoot him away. So it's delivered. He doesn't necessarily know that he. It's not like he handed it to him in person, which may have been, you know, preferable. But we'll see at this point if Jarl Eerskil uh, decides to call upon you for an audience. Now, one of the rumors that you picked up, and let me find my rumors table.
Staying here later on in the week, for a week, the chances of our exploits, news of it actually starting to reach here,
Right.
increased. I think so. I mean that could be beneficial with our
So
local reputation.
one of the rumors that you had heard about via Castle was that Jarl Eskil was seeking to hire skilled assassins for some unknown cause. But
Mhm.
but Dentry, in kind of poking around and asking about that, nobody seems to know anything about that. It sounds like that was probably a complete, fake news situation. Probably just a false rumor. So, is there anything else or is there something else that you want to do with the day today? I guess
Well, Malachi is continuing to work on the scroll of haste
Okay. Yep.
that he's doing this week,
He's got another 6 days to go
and
on that.
yay. But I mean, I don't know. You haven't been the kind of DM to fucking nitpick and go, well, you didn't say you were working on it, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
no. Well, no,
yeah,
you already said that that's what he was doing for the week, so I just assumed.
that is correct. But I've had dungeon masters fucking nitpick me that way. Generally, man, when you start doing crazy shit and some dungeon masters stuff, and they couldn't foresee it coming, they'll rule warp you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to put that shackle with
They'll
that ball
nitpick
and
you.
chain
Yeah.
on yeah,
No.
because they don't want you running away with things, but you will let us snowball your plot fucking from hell to high water. I'll
Well,
give you that.
well,
That
it's kind of like, and you run into this a lot in Traveler, for example. uh, and it's kind of alluded to in Traveler. Do you have to write down every single fucking piece of equipment? So, do I have to write down that my character is carrying a fucking mobile comm? I mean, who doesn't
yeah,
have a phone, right?
that's correct.
And one
People that don't want to be tracked
right,
who
right,
don't have a phone.
right. And so, in Traveler, they're like, "Oh, well, there's the ship's locker." And the question is, "Well, what's in the ship's locker?" And it's never detailed, and they even say, "Well, it's kind of the referee's fiat to say,
Yeah,
yeah, there's a piece of equipment in the ship's locker." I'm not going to detail every fucking item that's in the ship's locker, which, you know,
yeah.
that I mean, that's what
Um,
it's there for, to say, "Oh, well, yeah, there's a bioscanner in the ship's locker." I mean, why wouldn't there be? You know?
Yeah.
A couple of shotguns, maybe a revolver is in the ship's locker. Spacesuits. I mean, right? So the same thing kind of translates into other games. Is like you told me that you were spending the week. I am going to
Yeah.
assume that Malachi, unless you tell me differently, Malachi is not going out shopping. He's in the, he's
No,
scribing
yeah.
down his
If
scroll.
any kind of spell components that he would have would be he writes it on a paper and gives it to that motherfucker we hired to be our servant for the week.
Right. Well,
We're like,
and
go buy these components.
right.
Fuck.
And it's not like so Viacaslau being a major port city on the eastern shores of or I'm sorry, the western shores of the Great Inland Sea is a major port. Almost anything that you would want as far as a reagent is going to be available here. So, you know, so I guess
I,
there's the question. So over here, the piers, aside from the Dangerous Shark Tavern, the ships come in and there are numerous markets set up on the piers that sell stuff directly from the ships. Um, there's
should we go tour the market? You know, I mean, we only got like one potion designed to fight this cold. Right? We only got one potion.
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you got the frost brand, so you're safe.
No, that shit protects me from fucking standing in regular fire. It does not protect. Making it cold just lets me produce light.
Oh,
this
shit.
Could be
Yeah.
of
Wait.
interest to Mavis and possibly Alora. This is the Temple of Var, and it is not only does it function as a lighthouse for the pier, but it is a temple dedicated to the giant god Var. So you might go and pay a visit, and you can learn a little bit about Stygian, their gods and their belief system. And of course, we've already discussed Steinmod Keep, which you're awaiting an invitation to, and I would think that the piers are probably your most interesting location. I mean, you could take 2 full days of moving through the markets north to south on the piers and probably still not see everything that's for sale.
Well, then,
Jeez.
I guess we should go shopping on our first day. I mean, we know or somebody ought to go shopping. Um, at least on the first day.
What do we need though?
Well, this is the second day, but
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we need rings of cold protection, necklaces of cold protection, maybe potions of control white dragon. Anything that we could, see that would help us. We're going to
I
fight.
have one potion of control white dragon.
You do?
I have a one for red dragons, one for black dragons, and one for white dragons. So
Now that could turn the tide real quick.
it could. Yes.
Yeah. So all
Maybe.
right. Then I didn't know we had that. So that takes a big load off my thing. I still would like to do a perusing through Magic Land and see what might be for sale. Does anybody have a large flying rug?
no.
No, I'm talking about in the markets.
Oh, okay, duh.
Roll a d6.
Sorry.
They do not.
2. Okay.
They have rugs.
Yeah, then I guess we're.
They do
Well,
have rugs.
yeah. I've kind of decided I'm going to steal a rug or two every major place we stop. I'm going to use it as wallpaper in Castle Braun. just be the collection of fine rugs
Yes.
hanging on the wall.
Your private quarters is just filled with rugs.
Oh no, main hallway. I want I want people to be able to touch where countless whores have stood while their souls were being bargained off,
Yes,
and
right.
yeah, and here you can feel the privilege in this rug because it came from a prince's house, and it you know c- for generations these young royal kids have played with their building blocks on this rug. You can see where one of them has a poo stain right over here that never got cleaned out. I'm preserving it, of course, for
For posterity.
yeah.
What else are you looking for?
And
I would like
no,
a mundane item.
You were looking for a mundane item?
I need some fruit, and hopefully for Alora to procure me some semi-poisonous mushrooms.
mhm.
You can definitely
okay.
find fruit. Do you want dried fruit or fresh?
Fresh.
So you can find enough fruit that will last you for 7 days for 5 gold pieces.
Sweet. And a barrel.
You want a barrel. You can get a barrel for 1 gold piece.
6 gold pieces it is. Got it.
And you wanted Alora to look for some.
Poisonous and or hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Gotta love
Are
them.
you shopping for those in the market, or are you?
I mean, she's a witch. I figure the witch can find stuff wherever the witch finds stuff.
That's true. And look at that.
I mean,
46.
anywhere the cows are shitting, there's magic mushrooms.
You would think.
That's what I would. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hire 4 or 5 kids and go collect all the mushrooms you can and then sort them out by kind and then have each kid try a mushroom.
The cow
And the
shit's
kid that
what?
has a good time, yeah, the kid that has a good time, that's the pile. That's the pile that we want. If the other kids die, we need to resurrect them,
Yeah, the cow shit's what makes you really trip balls.
Yeah. Because you're like, why the fuck am I eating cow shit? God. And then your mind goes down the rabbit hole. The Twilight Zone
Down the
song
toilet.
starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, and it doesn't say this specifically, but it does say, I would say Alora would have a 2 and 6 chance, so she could roll a d6.
I got a 2.
Okay, so she does find some mushrooms growing in the region, and she identifies them.
Sweet.
And it is...
So did she find me the poisonous ones or the hallucinogenic or both?
They are hallucinogenic.
Excellent.
She does
That was the
find
preference.
kind of a growing in small amounts. Like, so she found a single dose of Bumble Snort.
Ooh.
And so Bumble
Yeah.
Snort is a fungus that usually grows in marshy forest areas, which along, even in the cold, along here, along the ice shelf that makes up the shoreline, is a prime location. The reason why she only found 1 dose is because the Stygianians really like their Bumble Snort. They use it in, playtime and religious ceremonies and all sorts of this shit, right? But it is a rare fungus. It has a couple of uses. The first use is it is a powerful hallucinogen when snorted. It can also be sprinkled into food or ale or mead, and it will produce powerful, like extremely powerful hallucinations for up to 2 hours, give or take. And in that time, the person who's tripping is going to also gain half of their hit dice as temporary hit points. And so, what a lot of these hallucinations lead to is what we would call heroic idiocy, because these people think that they're indestructible. It's basically like magic mushrooms mixed with PCP. The second
Excellent.
use, the second use is that it can be dried and crushed and turned into a potion of ESP. If you find an alchemist that is capable of doing so.
We have the ESP potion already, don't we?
We have at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want the
We need
first
to start
use.
using our potions, is what this
I
is telling
absolutely
me.
want the first use. The goal here is to make a barrel of hallucinogenic sangria with my decanter of endless water wine.
Oh shit. Okay, I see where you're going with this.
This is your week project, right? You're up in the fucking thing cooking and brewing and tasting and
So I would
cooking
say
that hooch.
that
Yeah.
It's sangria,
one
don't it?
for something the size of a barrel, one dose of Bumble Snort isn't going to be sufficient for an entire barrel.
How much would it be sufficient for?
I would say for an entire barrel, you're probably wanting somewhere along the lines of 5 doses, maybe
Okay,
more.
so I can forage when we're traveling out to where the white dragon is or whatever, and we could try again.
You could. I mean, the question too is, I mean, a barrel full of sangria is not going to be light.
I mean, are we not
Yeah, but
traveling?
the barrel stays here. I'll just bring the mushrooms back when we return, right? Or are we not coming back here?
I mean,
We have
it's
the
up to you.
mirror. The barrel can chill at the place. I just gotta.
That's true.
Oh, then yeah,
That's true.
that's right. We could do that too.
I mean, you could also spend time. You could also purchase it in the markets.
Oh yeah, huh?
Or, of course, because it is used so much for religious purposes, you might check out the Temple of Var.
All right, so
Mavis,
we can.
Mavis, get me some mushrooms.
Yeah. From the Holy Temple.
We could go shop too. I don't know.
No.
Okay, let's go see the temple.
Okay. So who all is going to the temple?
Now
The
I have to go.
ladies.
The ladies. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jackson, because Jackson's invested.
Ladies and Jackson.
Now
Yeah, well, then Goodman will go with them. He's not going to let the Queen and the religious
Shit, now everybody's got to go. If the Queen's going, that means Ventry's going.
Might
He's
as
her
well,
guard.
man.
He's her knight.
Yeah, Borman will probably not go, as he wants to make sure when he does a nighttime adventure that he doesn't get taxed with fucking you never went to sleep, man. So he's going to rest and chill.
Okay.
So he can be more active in the evening and night. He'll be like, oh, the road has really worn me down, friends. So I'm just going to rest today. I have a slight cold, and I don't even think remove curse or cure wounds would cure it. It's not even a
Mira falls
disease.
asleep on top of him.
As he's laying there with like 20 gold ropes around his neck and a couple of pendants and like 5 rings, and the road has.
Mira just comes over in true cat fashion. It's like she's lonely because she couldn't come to the temple and just cuddles up on him, but like in cat fashion, plops like half on him.
Yeah.
So
you can cuddle up to Mira.
So that'll be fine. I'm just resting anyway.
So the ladies and Jackson go to the Temple of Var, and this is a tall tower. Excuse me. It is a tall tower, and at the top, you can see that there is a even during the day there is a bright light that is kind of focused out over the piers. And there's my allergies. Wow. And so the very yes, tree sperm. The very top of this tower is set as a lighthouse for the piers. And upon entering, I mean, this tower is like 5 stories tall. I mean, it just towers over the piers. It's even it's about it's almost as tall, if not maybe one story taller than Steinmod Keep. I mean, it is probably the tallest single standing building in the city. And as you enter into the base of the tower, um, there is a 15-foot tall statue of a storm giant that is standing there, and this storm giant is depicts the god Var. To tell you who Var is, there we go. Gods of the Frozen North. So the Stygianians do worship the old gods. They have mostly their religion is mostly based um, on the old gods and the Druidic faith. And there are and Mavis would know this, is that there are some theologians that speculate that the gods of the giant pantheon are actually just aspects of the old gods, but the Stygianians scoff at that. They insist that these are the same. These are not the same gods. That um, these are individuals, and that they they really so Mavis may feel a little bit anxious and feel definitely out of place in the Temple of Var because um, the Stygianians don't actively hate the new faith, the Council of 12 Elder Gods, but at the same time, they do not tolerate any proselytizing or attempts to convert people or whatever. And there have been a lot of there's been a lot of missionaries that have been sent to Stygina with from the Chapel of the Known Gods in from Glauschein. Every so often they get a wild hair up their ass and decide to send out missionaries to convert the northern barbarians to a more civilized religion. In most cases, those guys never come back. they and the few times that there are some that come back, they tell horrific stories of what happened to them for proselytizing. So Mavis might be a little anxious in here, but this temple is dedicated to Var, who is known as the Hammer of Justice, the God of Lightning, and the Storm at Sea. More specifically, he is the younger brother of the Allfather, the giant Yortbrog, who is king of the giant pantheon. And so the Stygianians, because over 60% of the population in Stygina is half giant. They are gargantuans. And every single half giant that you meet, they're kind of like vegetarians or people that do CrossFit. And how do you know? Because they'll tell you in the first 5 minutes, right? So the same thing with half giants is that they will tell you that there's the blood of some particular giant species either on their mother's or father's side. And it's pretty obvious. I mean, they don't have to tell you because, like, if for instance, you met one of the frost giants back in I can't remember in one of the towns, small town at the base of the Skellis Mountains, and he of course told you that he's got fire giant on his mother's side, and I mean, of course he does. He's got bright orange red hair, and he's 7.5 feet tall. It's not difficult to say, well, yeah, I can see that. So in the case of the king of the giant gods, he is Yortbrog is a. I wrote this down. The reason why I wrote it down is so I don't have to remember it, right?
We've
And yes,
killed we've killed 3 different kinds of giants.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in order to unlock the achievement, we need to go get the stone giants, the storm giants. We need to. I don't know what else might be running around, but we definitely need storm and stone giant.
Have we killed fire giants already?
Yeah, we killed fire giants.
So I believe he is a cloud giant.
Yep. There we go. There's another giant type to kill.
We gotta kill the clouds too. There's 3. We
But-
Gotta kill them all.
giants.
And
Remember the fire
and-
giant had the people held hostage?
Oh yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, we
there
killed
was
a
fire
couple
giant.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we killed frost giants. When we went to the ship with no treasure wreck, and we killed a bunch of fucking hill giants as we laid rampage.
Well, that ship had treasure. That ivory's worth a shit ton.
Oh, I hear you, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be.
It wasn't. It wasn't as much as you were wanting. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So
man,
York
you-
I mean,
Brog,
that's treasure by average people standards. We hold ourselves to a higher standard here, okay?
York Brog
But-
is depicted as a 20-foot tall cloud giant with skin the color of dark storm clouds, long white hair, and a beard that is often braided. And he has lost an eye in a squabbling fight with his brother Var. And Yorkbrog is married to the stone giant Asa, who is known as the Mother Stone, and she has an entire festival. The people of Stagina really like Asa. And then, of course, Var, who is depicted as a 22-foot tall storm giant. He has bronze-colored flesh and long, curly, bright yellow hair. And so that's kind of what this 15-foot tall statue is depicting. And it is said that he can be found in the airy castle of Vandrad, tending to his griffins. And then,
Whoa!
in
What?
addition, there is.
I know, right? We're like griffins, you say?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, and even Mavis would agree with this. That's like saying that God exists in heaven with his cadre of angels. I mean, is Vandrad really a place, or is it another plane? I mean, the Stygianians will tell you that their gods walk the prime material plane. Is that true, or is that snorting too many mushrooms?
You're
yeah.
trying to keep us away from the griffins. Don't lie.
The next in there the next one is the goddess Siv, known as the Flaming Tempest and the Mother of War and the Raging Anger. She is depicted as a 16-foot tall fire giant with red skin and smoldering black hair. There is Oystein, who is the abandoned son of Siv. He was left out in the wastes, and he became the 18-foot tall frost giant. And Oystein and Siv are often at odds with one another, but at other times they have sometimes joined up, and usually Siv screws Oystein over in whatever endeavor it is. And then the last two gods are Svanhild and Tumi, who are known as the wedded siblings and the thieves in the night and the forbidden lovers. They are twin 12-foot tall hill giants that gave birth to all the hill giants. They're playing their banjos over there. And so that's kind of the giant pantheon that all of Stagina kind of follows as their primary gods. I mean, like I said, they still follow the old gods, but that's secondary to the giant pantheon that they follow. So let's see, who is asking about the Bumblesnort?
Laura will ask.
Okay. Laura can roll under your charisma.
Charisma 13. Rolled a 5. We're good.
Wow, yeah,
Damn.
you did. They will sell you 5 doses of Bumble Snort
Ooh.
for 10 gold pieces total.
The Ranger Jackson's like, hey, look, so I'm not really like flush with cash right now, but I'm good for it. I'm good for it.
I'll take it out of the party thing, right?
Yeah, it comes
Sure.
out of the party. So really, Brian would be the one.
All right.
He's the
You
cash
said 10 gold.
secretary.
I mean, we're good for
Yeah.
it. We can definitely afford 10. I think we'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Right. So, the one thing, so Alora, being the most charismatic, she also, there was a bit of a bonus there to that because it is evident that the I guess the druids, the religion of Stagina, recognizes witches, and
Oh, cool.
there's kind of a on the one hand there's kind of a kindred connection between the druids and the witches, but on the other hand, witches are also greatly feared throughout Stagina because uh, they can cause problems.
Turn you into a newt.
Right, they might turn you into a newt, but you'll get better.
Yep.
But every time I think of that scene, the guy with the shaving cream on his face just fucking kills me. But so yeah, there's like this kindred spirit that is evident, and they recognize Alora as you are of my peeps kind of situation.
One of us. One of us.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of overlap between druids and witches. So, um,
hmm They're in the same Facebook groups.
right.
Yeah.
So there, yeah, she's kind of led around. Mavis, on the other hand, they welcome her. Nobody asks her name. They welcome her to the Temple of Var, but um it's a formality because all are
Ooh.
welcome in the Temple of Var. And they simply refer to Mavis as the priest.
Oh.
All right. That's okay. She's kind of used to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Every time they call her a priest, though, Goodman will correct them and go, "That's priestess."
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
or none.
and he'll spit. That's priestess.
uh,
Fucking sexist bastards.
so So here is a great. Here is a really good explanation here of one of the reasons why the Stygianians don't particularly believe in or care about the new faith. So the old gods and the giant gods, their plane of existence is the prime material plane. They came into being right here on the known world. The new faith did not. The new faith exists in the celestial palace, which encompasses pretty much all of the higher planes. They at times have a decree. The Council of 12 Elder Gods has a decree from the Lord of the Elder Gods, Janus, to not walk the known world. Do not walk the prime material plane, because when they have such power that it has been their experience that whenever they interfere or interact with mortals, they fuck shit up. It's not going to work properly, or the pendulum swings so far the other direction that everything gets out of it doesn't repair anything. Instead, it's out of balance in another direction. So the Stygianians are like point to this as an example of, well, our gods walk the known world. Where are yours? You know, they're on another plane of existence. How do we even know that they truly exist? I mean, this could all be made up stories. I saw my god. He's walking out. They have claims. Oh, I saw him. You know, I saw Oystein walking across the frozen plain. So I know that our gods exist. That's an example. And in a real world analogy, the Vikings kind of had a similar thought. You know, well, we were visited by Odin, but your god is dead. You have depictions of him being crucified on a cross. So how is it that your god is more powerful than Odin? He sat in our hall and drank tankards of ale with us. So it's a very similar setup. This is why they kind of just have disdain for the new faith.
Well,
Haters gonna hate,
They
man.
don't
Haters
actually want
gonna
to
hate.
argue, though, do they? They don't want to argue about it.
No, and
Probably.
they're not even bringing it up. They're just treating Mavis, yeah,
Not well.
not warmly.
That's okay.
It's a formality to say hi and welcome to the Temple of Var. Beyond that, they're like, yeah, the priest is here. Oh boy.
it's the priestess.
Well, I don't know if I'll even fucking notice because I'm like an ugly, dumb girl. So
Mhm.
I probably don't get a warm reception many places.
Eh.
It seems normal, I guess.
Is there anything else?
Really
It's like, wow, this
popular at
place-
my temple, but
Is there anything else you wanted to do at the Temple of Var? So the it should also be
we got our drugs. It's time to leave church.
the other thing about the Temple of Var is that on the second and third floor of this tower, the Temple of Var and the Druids have a hostel, and this is these two floors are given over to room and board for sailors or travelers that are down on their luck or otherwise would not be able to afford a room at the Bald Mastodon. And so the only thing that is asked of them is that they, if they can give a donation, definitely do. And a donation doesn't necessarily mean in the form of coin or treasure. It could be helping out around the temple, cleaning or what have you, or running the soup kitchen, whatever. That's the only thing that is really asked of them. It's not even a requirement. And
Do we want to leave a donation for that?
They were kind of rude, so Mavis
I
won't.
mean, we're not spending the night.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Well, I
true.
was just meaning to spread goodwill and be like, this is a donation from Queen Alora.
so
Queen of
Actually, you know what? The
Gloucester
Ranger will.
Empire.
The Ranger will only Jackson will only because like they seem to be more in tune with nature than like the most places, and they kind of like that. And he's like, I'm down with that. So he'll drop a gem worth 50 gold pieces, and like
Yeah.
okay.
keep on the way. Druids, Rangers, all that stuff. We get along.
So yeah, the usually, a donation, a 50 gold piece gem, they will thankfully take it up, and they thank Jackson, because this gem is of course going to go towards buying more supplies so that they can feed the people that are staying in the hostel. They also recommend that if you're looking for good luck in your travels, it's always recommended to make a sacrifice at the statue of Var that will hopefully bring good luck. But usually that's only done if you're embarking on a sea trip.
Oh, okay.
Is there an orphanage nearby?
No,
Need a place to get our sacrifices.
no, orphan. So one of the there's no orphanage. There.
All right.
In Stygian culture, orphans are just kind of fucking left on the streets. You know, survival of the fittest kind of thing.
Mm,
Well, if he was meant to
We're
live,
already
then he
sacrificed.
wouldn't have frozen to death.
right.
I don't know if I can co-sign that, but yeah.
They're already considered
Well,
sacrifices.
yeah. We can take a couple of these young lads though and send them to Castle Braun to live, where it would probably be a kinder existence.
If we see any
We
stray
got
people, you mean we could do that?
Well, yeah, we got to populate our fucking home, man. And so
That's true.
this if they have an excess of people living, just playing in piles of dirt on the street, we should see if we can, give them thing. I think I saw a lady that was smacking a cat against a rug who came in.
We thought she'd be a great citizen of Castle Braun.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have a lady smacking a rug with a cat. I mean,
We got a lot of
That's
rugs,
hilarious
so
too.
we got a lot of rugs.
Right.
I forgot about that one
fit
too.
right in.
So, who was what characters were shopping in the markets on the pier?
Borman would have went shopping on the market on the pier. Is what he would have done more than
Borman roll a d6.
5.
Okay. Did Dentry
Fever
go
for the
shopping on
flavor of a
pier?
Pringles.
After he visits the temple, he'll go. Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
Let me roll.
Go ahead and roll
Late
a D6.
afternoon shopping. So the merchants are tired and
Nope. And what about Jackson?
Sure, why the fuck not?
Okay. What about Peppermint?
Goodman got a
sure.
3.
Did I roll a d6? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's go. 1.
So while shopping on the pier, well, is Mavis going shopping or and Alora?
I guess, yeah. I guess I could go too.
So they
Let's
can
see what
each
they got.
roll a d6.
So the
Got
whole
1 and a
posse
2.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd they get?
1 and 2.
Okay, so all 3 of the girls, while shopping on the pier, they are pickpocketed. All gold
bitch.
all gold coin that they are carrying on their person is gone. They cut the purse.
Okay. That's lame.
I mean, the bulk of your treasure. It's not like that's gonna kill you. The bulk of your treasure is sitting through the mirror back at Castle Braun. But yep, there are a number of pickpockets and thieves that move throughout the markets. Is there
Does
anything?
Borman notice it happen? Oh no, he's sleeping. Bastard Borman.
Yeah, he went later in the evening. But yeah, these pickpockets are pretty good.
Oh.
So
I mean, he's a thief. He'd be looking out for it.
is there anything else that you're shopping for on the piers?
Well,
yeah, where the thieves went. Just playing.
Are you just wanting? Or you had mentioned something about rings.
looking for rings of cold resistance or
Protection.
I mean, yeah, protection. I mean, this little, young girl has been shopping in the market. That's where she got her rusty magic sword. So they might have some good shit, Maybe some magic staves. What's around.
So
Good point.
this is later in the evening when Borman kind of has taken his daily nap. The sun is just the sun has set probably 3 hours ago because I mean you are in the north and it is early spring, and so it gets dark pretty early up here. Borman, moving throughout the markets with the rest of the party, um, is uh, is drawn to a market stall, and there is on a back shelf there is a ring, and he inquires about said ring, and the the market uh, hawker tells you, "Oh yes, this what." What are you shopping for? You mentioned you were looking for something to fight off the bitter cold. Well, this ring will do exactly that. You will be able to walk through a raging blizzard, and you will be completely protected. You could walk around in your skivvies, and you will not gain frostbite.
Do I believe him?
Uh, you can go ahead and roll. So, are you looking the ring over? I mean, he's holding the ring, and it looks
Yeah, I
like
want to
this ring
give it a
looks
look.
like just a plain silver ring, just a no gems on it, just a silver band.
Well, I mean, I'll look at it and see if it matches anything I've ever heard about. You know,
Why don't you pull out your cross sword and tell him he could touch it while he's wearing the ring?
You didn't touch.
Frostbrand. If he touches Frostbrand with the ring, it shouldn't hurt him then.
Yeah.
No, because my because it does cold. It has a cold thing. I asked him if he's.
Well, what'd you get?
If he's ever
Did you
tried
roll
to
under
ring
your
up.
wisdom?
I rolled my wisdom.
So
I rolled, yeah.
you have.
I mean, you know, even if I can't tell shit off the ring, I can tell by his body language and shit if he's trying to sucker me or.
You have seen a ring very similar to this before. It was in the possession, I believe, of Mavis.
Does Mavis have a frost ring?
I do not. I have had other
No,
rings.
she had a ring that made her like think like something stupid or crazy or whatever. It was like a trick.
Yeah.
It was yeah, it made me think it was a ring of spell turning, but it really was not. It like didn't do shit for that. So I was wondering, and then I found a real ring of spell turning later, so I don't know which ring he's referencing.
I'll ask him to put it on.
It resembles the ring that she discarded.
Oh, okay. So the fake one?
Yes.
All right.
Now that's not to say that it is. I mean, a ring is a ring is a ring, right? But that's the first thing that jumps to mind.
Yeah.
If he's confident in his wear, make him test it.
Yeah, put it on.
And he goes ahead and he puts it on. He says, "See, I am now protected from cold."
And I'll pull out Frostbrand and put it up against him and see if he flinches.
Let me take
Like if you're protected from cold, stabbing you in the throat with this sword wouldn't hurt.
Might be a jump.
Yeah. Probably
Still a sword, sir. Still a sword.
roll percentage.
Like there was a jump in logic somewhere there. I'm not sure where, but somewhere there was a jump in logic.
7.
Oh, you tap him with the Frostbrand, and immediately you can see like icicles form on his eyebrows and beard, and he starts to shiver. And when you pull the sword away, he through chattering teeth, he says, "See, I'm fine."
Aww.
And I'll be like, well,
shit.
all of my money is put away for safekeeping at the local treasury. I'll go get it and be back. And with that, I want to go find the Thieves Guild.
There. Hmm.
I mean, if I can't find it without a big ordeal, I'm not going to expend a lot of energy or time on it.
There isn't
Just
much of a thieves guild in Viacaslau. I mean,
Okay.
nobody's really set one up. There are, of course, pickpockets and thieves and beggars all along the piers, but they
there's
don't.
no
They
You
haven't.
could
organized.
set one up.
They haven't unionized yet.
You
Right.
could unionize them.
I
You
could,
become
but that
the ruler.
would require time
And significant
and
expenditure.
yeah, we're just going to be moving along. So I guess I have, you know, besides maybe we could go around drinking in different taverns and bars and brag about the shit we've done. So that way
I
maybe
would like.
the head
I
dude
mean,
will see us.
I do want to shop for some armor for Jackson, just in case there's something better than the +1 he has.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d6.
Can you wear plate?
As a
Maybe.
ranger, I think the best that he can wear. Let me double check that. He can wear leather, chainmail, and use shields.
There you go. So chainmail is the best I can do.
Okay.
I
And you've got a ring
thought
of.
so because there was other armor that we got that was awesome, but I was like, I don't think I can wear that.
I feel you. And you've got a ring of protection.
He can also. Well, hold on. He can also wear. Let's see. He can wear furs, padded armor, leather, studded leather, chainmail, and that's it. There are furs all over the place right here.
And you have a ring of protection for Jackson?
Yeah. No, I gave it away to somebody.
Yeah, somebody's got.
I've got a ring of protection in the bag. It's actually in the vault.
Oh.
But I mean, it would be easy enough to retrieve.
What the hell did I give mine away for?
I don't know, but go ahead and put that on, and I'm going to remove this from the list of shit I've got to deal with.
Okay. Because I was trying to help Peppermint be able to take a hit more.
I feel you. Yeah, you are. But this is what happens when I forget shit that we have in our big, which is, that really kind of matches up when you have a whole bunch of shit. You be like, you throw treasure aside all the time.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Damn it, this is what I get for not checking the inventory.
Yeah.
So you don't find any spectacular armor that's better than what you've got. And like I said, there are numerous furs and whatnot that are for sale, but the Stygianians
any
really
magical furs?
No.
All right.
So you pretty much spend the second day shopping, and Malachi, of course, spends the day scribing. And on the third morning, there's a knock on each of your doors, and it is she. It is. It's Halgard, and Halgard brings you all your breakfast, serving you in each individual rooms, and she tells you that she delivers a rolled up note with the seal, the wax seal of Jarl Eerskil of Viacaslau.
Ooh, let's unfurl it or open it. I mean,
yeah.
So this is a invitation to the great adventurers that are known as the heroes of Braunhaven. Word of your exploits have reached my ears, and I would like to invite you for an audience at Steinmod Keep.
yay.
That's where we want to go. Yeah, hell yeah. We need to set presents up in there. Be wonderful.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys have been here. This is your third day of the week, and you paid for hot baths every night, so you are pretty cleaned up and polished up. I mean, I don't know.
Is there a place where we can get, fine attire for the local culture?
Oh, certainly.
More dressy Viking looking clothes, I guess.
Certainly, yeah. Like I
Whatever.
said, there are furs and whatnot all around. You can for 250 coins, you can or 250 gold pieces, you can or I'm sorry, not 250. That's how much it weighs. 10 gold pieces each. You can get some nice furs that also give you armor class of 12. They actually have the same armor class as leather. And they're all nice. They're all made of winter wolf coats, pelts, and you can throw these on over your clothing and kind of glam
So
yourself up.
right. So if we're trying to do 3, 6, 7, 8, we need 8 sets
Yep, 80
of.
gold pieces.
All right.
What's this called again?
It's just
We'll call them dress furs.
yeah, fur armor
Dress fur?
or dress furs.
Yeah.
So
More
can
formal
Alora wear
weather.
that or not though? Because if I can wear that, then I would do it a lot.
Oh, so
But you have armor class
so
14 due to the bone armor.
yeah, so I mean, you don't
Well,
have
that's
to worry
only
about the
when
armor class. I mean, but while wearing these
okay.
furs, um, uh, there is a
Oh,
penalty
okay.
for the witch and the necromancer, of course, because these are quite a bit bulkier than the robes that they're used to wearing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
It's
cool.
Yeah, it's more of just formal crap that we can wear so we fit in and, more of a I think we'll be better diplomatically received if we look less insider and respect the fact that we're going to somebody of importance place. That's my way of thinking.
So you guys take your invitation and enter the palisade around Steinmod Keep, and the first part that you come to is the gatehouse, and the inner gate wall is 8 feet wide by 35 feet tall, or I'm sorry, 8 feet wide by 35 feet long and 20 feet tall. And there is a large large gate and arch that leads in, and it is flanked by a pair of guard towers that are tall enough that they can see over this palisade. And I mean, it is a well defended keep. Leading in, they take you in to the area, and you can see that there is directly off to the left is oh, I have here. I can show you. I can show you.
I can. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
I actually forgot that I had made this map.
It's great that we're getting inside of this inner sanctum here. Oh,
Remember not to rob them until we're almost gone.
well, now depending on what I mean, depending on how this conversation goes, I might wait until after we go kill the white dragon or whatever and come back to get our reward, and then as we leave, buckle my with the ability to jump through their fucking hole. I mean, I don't see why I have to be in town when I rob them. I mean, we could rob them while I'm on the road. and they will never know. We're on the road. We weren't even here.
That's a better idea. You tend to rob people on our last day in town. It looks kind of conspicuous.
Right, but you rob them 3 days after we leave. It's a fucking alibi like you can't even fucking imagine there. I will make a big deal of celebrating and tipping the guards as we leave, see? So they'll all know. Well, they left. The dudes were really nice. We like those guys. They wouldn't do that.
Finally, starting to think more about this thievery stuff you're doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to become a murder transient rather than a murder hobo.
Oh,
It's
that's
I'm
nice.
evolving, if you will.
So this is Steinmod Keep, and you make your way in. This being the gatehouse down here, and then of course there's this wall that you pass underneath coming in, and immediately you note that there is heavy foot traffic in there's of course snow, and even a light dusting of snow across the stone that leads to the Great Hall. And essentially Steinmod Keep was a longhouse Great Hall that has just been expanded and expanded and expanded over and over again. But you immediately notice that there's heavy foot traffic in the snow that leads off to the west here and then off to the east here. And then directly ahead of you upon coming in from the gatehouse, you can see that there are these great double doors that lead into the hall.
I guess we're going in.
With
Right, we're being
your
escorted.
well, you're not even
We
being
were
escorted.
invited.
You came to the gatehouse and you showed them that you're invited, and they're like, okay, go on in, and they let you in. You're not really being escorted at all. Like I said, you can see that there's heavy foot traffic that goes to the east and west, and of course, then the double doors directly ahead of you.
I guess
Jackson points it out.
Yeah.
Can Jackson tell how many tracks it is? Like how it's heavy foot traffic, but like
have Jackson make a tracking check.
Are you kidding me? Literally a 1 in 10 chance of success or failure, and I hate the failure.
They're a lot. That's as much as Jackson. Like, oh, there's tracks.
Oof.
Changing the color of dice.
Man, it's probably people going to the big statue to worship or something, or it's a secret entrance to something. And then I mean the other looks like a guardhouse. I don't know.
Everybody can roll a wisdom ability check.
Okay. Ignore that. That was just a test roll for the dice.
Goodman beat it.
I think everybody's okay. Yeah, all of mine made it.
Okay.
What you said to roll? Sorry, I was messing around.
Wisdom ability check.
Nope.
So, Peppermint Mavis, Alora, and Goodman, you notice over to the west, there is a young boy, and he's got a wooden pitchfork, and he is basically shoveling or cleaning straw out of this appears to be a stable. And immediately you guys notice that he is the immediate thought that comes to mind is that he's crippled, but you have heard tales of this before. It is clear to you that he has survived the demon plague.
Ooh.
He So the obvious part of it is that he has his right arm. So he's holding the pitchfork with his left arm and kind of shoveling, because his right arm has been replaced. Uh, Not like somebody replaced it, but his right arm fell off and regrew as a lobster arm with a big claw on the end, and he has goat-like legs, so his knees go backwards and end in hooves. And as you can see some of the guards up on the wall up here. They occasionally throw something at him and are insulting him. Get back to work, you tard. Get in there. And he replies back to them, and he's like, okay, and he's got a terrible stutter.
Aww.
And he just keeps working. He's working hard.
Seems like a martyr to me.
It seems like if he survived the demon plague, then he's got something going for him.
Well,
yeah, you've heard that there were some. So the demon plague killed off a third of or two-thirds of the population of the Gaussian Empire. And you've heard some tales that those that survived suffered horrible mutations from this plague.
Mm.
Is there's? Oh, go ahead.
There's no way to help that though, right?
No, this is
outside of wish or something.
Permanent.
Okay. That's too bad.
Is there a large stash of gems in any particular within 60 feet of me?
Let's see. Is there?
I mean, I can get a big whop of his estate, as I'm walking in.
Let's see.
Like Borman will see that and be like, "Oh yeah, these people are worth robbing." I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you detect that there are gems nearby within 60 feet.
Oh man. Right. Control yourself till we get out of here. They gotta ask us to kill that dragon first.
Oh yeah, we have to definitely turn the exclamation point into a question mark, and then cash it in. And then he is open prey, but this is the time to scout and do all that, So I'm doing it.
Showing restraint.
So what? When you say you're doing it, what are you doing?
He's casing it. He's like looking around.
Yeah,
right?
I'm casing the joint. I'm looking around at the guard presence, and really I'm trying to find out exactly when I sensed the gems, the cache of gems, and I want, if I get the chance, I want to move around to see if I can, triangulate better where I think they might be for a later point in time.
Okay. So are you guys moving into the feast hall? Or are you?
Looks like that's what we're doing. Yeah.
We're tracking mud all in there, I guess.
Yeah. I'll stomp my feet real good on the rug.
So coming into the
just for the sake of recon, I'm keeping my hawk outside to kind of keep an eye on stuff since I have my empathic connection with it.
Okay. So entering into the feast hall, you can see that in the middle of the feast hall there is a large stone-lined fire pit that has got it is lit, and the ceiling of this feast hall, which is probably 20 feet overhead, there is smoke all throughout. This is a fairly smoky place. And there are vents that allow it to escape, but there's this large, and all over this fire pit there are spits that are all there's probably like 3 or 4 spits that have entire carcasses of elk or woolly rhinoceros that are cooking over this fire. On either side, it is flanked with these large tables, and sitting at these tables, and as you of course come in, everything they were all talking and laughing and carrying on. They all suddenly get quiet and are all staring at you guys. And sitting at these tables, you can see that there are just lines of these Stygian berserkers that are all sitting there, and they all get quiet as you walk in. Sitting around this fire pit, there are open barrels and some closed barrels of mead that that one can go up and just grab a drinking horn and fill it with mead. And sitting up here on a raised dais, that the stonework of the dais, Goodman automatically recognizes as being the work of dwarven smiths. There is a pair of well cushioned throne type chairs, and you can see that in the one chair there is a fairly large man. He is a half giant, and sitting next to him is a half giant woman who's considerably younger, probably about 20 years his younger. Who she's kind of sitting there and she's just leaning on her chin on her hand on one arm of the throne, and she appears to be terribly bored, but you can immediately see that her eyes are wandering around the room like she's paying attention to almost everything that is being said. And so when you guys walk in, the entire throne room kind of gets quiet, and the Stygian man on the throne stands up and says, "Welcome, welcome! I've been expecting you. I sent an invitation summoning you." And he says, "Please, please, feel free to eat and drink. Eat your fill." And he says, I wanted to hear the tales of your adventures.
Okay. Oh man, where should we start, you guys?
We killed a lot of things.
The Beholder. That was a really good quest.
Oh, fucking fishing out the sea market, the monster.
Yeah, oh yeah, right nearby.
Yeah, the undead the undead manor that we cleansed. You know,
and we went to the Sylvanas forest and made it out too.
I like how Jackson's just parking it next to a barrel of mead, just continually drinking.
But yeah, there was that. There was the Loch Ness monster type thing, Old Style or whatever the fuck that was, that we fished out of the underground cave.
The dwarven stuff.
Yeah, yes. We went down
We've been all over. We're pretty great.
Yeah, we've just now come to bless your area with our heroicness.
So right now we're hunting down the Hammer of Janus, right?
Yeah. I
think that's what we're doing. But we haven't found it yet.
Kind of interrupting your guys' stories and all of these. As you guys sit down at these tables, the berserkers are just like kind of looking at you like, what the fuck? You have the balls to sit at our tables? And coming down the stairs in between or in the middle of your stories, you see a normal human girl about the age of 10, and she's dressed. She's not dressed like she's a peasant. She's dressed like she's nobility, but she's about 10 years old, and she comes down and she calls over and she says, "Mother, can I go to the library?" And the woman sitting on the throne, who is named Asvor, Asvor says, "Yes, yes, Freydis, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Go to the library. Read your books." And so the 10-year-old kind of runs through, and she stops near Peppermint. And says something along the lines of, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance." And then she runs off, and she enters these double doors here into the private library.
Oh, cool.
That is valuable information, Borman will think. Those are where the expensive books are kept.
So, the gargantua, the male that's sitting here. That is Jarl Eerskil, and he holds nightly feasts. And he tells you that you are sitting amongst his berserker personal guard. That they are the mightiest warriors in all of Viacaslau. And he introduces the woman, the female Stygian Gargantua, and he says, "This is as for Thorhaldottir, and she is the daughter of the famed raider and explorer Thorhall Bloodgut, and she is and Jarl Eerskil seems quite smitten with her. She's about 6'8", and which is considered petite for a gargantua, and she has long blonde hair that falls in ringlets that drapes across her shoulders. But she gives off the vibe that she is completely bored with all of this. But Jarl Eerskil gives off the vibe like he's showing her off. Like, yeah, I'm hitting that. That kind of thing. And the berserkers just don't seem to fucking give a shit. They're just here for the food and the mead. So you tell your stories, and
we'll also talk about the hill giants that we thoroughly just fucked off.
Obliterated Sudor.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So he
not scared of dying.
Yeah, he is suitably impressed. He says, "Well, then perhaps you are the right adventurers to solve our problem." And he tells you, hold on here, he tells you, so he tells you that, he says, to the west of us, from Viacaslau, there was a menhir that the druids would worship and bring prosperity to our lands, and and they they worshipped both the old gods and the Stygian gods. And he says, but about 200 years ago, a great white dragon named Isentanth came to the region and was wreaking havoc all along that coastline. Even Viacaslau was not spared. We were attacked. But then things grew quiet, and we assumed that Isentanth vanished, but they never went back to Reykjadalr to continue the druids didn't continue their worship there. That many of the druids that went to venerate from that site never returned, and so it has kind of gained the essence of being a cursed place, and we would really like to see that curse lifted. And there has been some signs within about the past 20 years that perhaps Isentanth never left. That perhaps the great white dragon is sleeping and has now started to awaken. Would you be interested in going and solving this problem for us?
Time to kill another dragon?
We could do that, but
We want some info on the humor, don't we? So would they be able to help us with that if we help them with their problem?
I'm sorry, help you with what?
Find a hammer of Janus. I think that's the artifact.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells you that the hammer that you seek is known as Donnerschlag. And he says that, and I need to bring up, I will show you on the big map. He tells you that that the existence of Donnerschlag is a legend and a myth. It might really exist, but he says that that it is rumored to exist at a burial site of the Archangel Damrazel up here on this island, just north of the capital city of Olafsfeller. And he tells you that it is the purview of King Kisping and the druids of Olafsfeller, that they protect the site. And that in order to go to this island, one needs to have, or it is best to have, permission of King Kisping. Because without it, if you were to go and plunder that site, it would not be beyond the pale for King Kisping to bring the entirety of Stagina down on whoever raided that site. So his recommendation is to head to Olafsfell, and he says, if you help us with the Reykjadalr dungeon, then we would be able to. I would be willing to send you with a message of warm regards towards King Kisping, which might assist in getting you in. He says if you were, traveling now, you might be able to make it to Olafsvellir before the festival of Asa, which would be the best time to go, is during the festival of Asa. He says that if you are visiting our great nation, it is something not to be missed.
All right.
Perhaps you'd be willing to entertain another agreement, and Borman will pull out a golden harp with gemstones that is worth 1,250 gold pieces.
Okay.
And he'll be like, I wager our best warrior can beat your best warrior. And if you lose, you must have all your guards treat your service boy with respect and stop making his existence harder. We believe that the sign of a strong society is how they treat their weakest.
So, actually, it's interesting that you bring that up, because he gets pissed off, not at you, but he says, "Are you speaking of Half, the stable boy?"
That's correct. Your guards that were walking around were treating him as if he was less than one of your tribe. And
he immediately points to two of the berserkers and he goes, "Go get me the guards off of the southern wall immediately."
And so, I guess that means we're not betting the strong man versus strongest. I put Ditry up against any of your motherfuckers that you got hanging out.
I was ready to do it. I was ready, but I'm intrigued now.
So these two berserkers strong arm these two guards and bring them in, and Jarl Eerskil, as soon as they come in, he says, "You two, were you disparaging Half and the guards are like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. We didn't do nothing. We were just giving him a hard time. And Jarl Eerskil snaps his fingers, and these two berserkers just bring out battle axes and cleave these guys' heads off right there in the fest hall.
Shit.
Wow. Justice is swift here.
And he says he tells the berserkers, he says, go spread the word. I will not tolerate anyone that is going to treat my adopted son that poorly. And the two berserkers leave, and he tells you, he says, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I met Hoff in a ways back in my journey in one of the raids that I conducted on the northern shores of the Glossian Empire, and I kind of adopted him and took him under my wing, and I will not tolerate anybody treating him poorly.
I'm glad you feel that way. Not only did you gain our respect, as you spared your strongest a sound ass whooping.
You really trying to get him to have this fight, huh?
Give me just a second, I'll be right back.
They're Vikings. If you don't if you don't try to measure your penis against the others, they'll look down upon you. You gotta.
It's true. And Gentry's willing to take on any of them. Like, look, man, I've lived my whole life, and I've always proved them wrong.
One-on-one nightly combat, hell yeah! And it's not like you tried to kill the guy, Just trying to beat him until he yields, maybe, or kill him. I don't know.
Hopefully, not kill the guy outright when we're accepting a mission, but
Well, have you ever seen the 13th Warrior?
Yes.
All right, when the little short fucking redheaded dude talked to fucking other big fucking huge motherfucker into fighting him, and he played like he was fucking weak, and then fucked around and cut the dude's head off, and the other dude was like threw the dude some money and was like, "Oh, see to your friend. He was very brave." But yeah, I mean, it go down something like that,
I'm fine. I'm down. Look, I'm down.
Yeah, if this type of society really respects strength and all that, you bashing one of their dudes' heads in, would make us look real good. So
I mean, he did just like straight up kill the dude just for a little disrespect. So I mean,
yeah. But we're heroes, and
we are men in tights.
Yeah.
Tight.
And if we're not talking shit as we cross this whole fucking, continent or whatever, then really what are we doing here?
Oh, I do want the world to know that this party traveled with the greatest warrior that ever lived.
Mm-hmm. And we're trying to build
a group of men with no difficulty.
We just decided that our one of our people was a queen, and we didn't really, we just made that up.
We sure did.
Yeah.
This is what happens. You decide a thing and then it sticks.
You will it into existence. Yeah. But while she has no power to write decrees or whatever, we got a castle that's being put back together. We're raising armies. That's king and queen shit.
Wait. What is power to create a decree other than deciding that people are going to listen to you, really?
That's right. And
at this point, the surrounding area is going to listen to us because we are the ones taking care of it.
Especially if we get fucking those stone giants on our side, God. I mean, I'm watching the House of David, and they've got giants right now going against Israel.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard that was a really good show.
It is very good. The last episode of the season is next Thursday, and so I'm really excited because I think David's going to kill Goliath.
Yeah.
You know what?
Spoilers.
I just have a feeling.
Yes, spoilers. That's it.
I don't know, man. He seems pretty scrawny.
So,
Man,
Mel
yeah,
Gibson
he's got his
announced that he's
heart.
doing a sequel to The Passion of the Christ, and I'm like, wait, I think I've already seen this. Like,
Wait, what sequel could there be?
right. Yeah.
They need to do. I think History of the World did a part 3. They need to do a part 4 or a part 3. I know they did a part 2.
Yeah, I want to say that they did do a newer one for History of the World, but from what I heard, it wasn't as good as the original.
Man, I remember I was sitting there with my mom and we were watching it, and they took the big joint and fucking held it out in front of everything, and I didn't get it. I asked my mom, and my mom was trying not to tell me about weed. And I'm like, what is that? What's going on? I don't get it. Why are they following the smoke, Mom? And my mom was like, oh, it just smells real good.
Right.
And
yes.
I'm like, oh, right. But I've smelled good stuff. I'd still kick your ass before I went and smelled some smoke. And now looking back, I get it a little better today.
So King Kisping, he's thankful, and he summons Half, and Half comes in, clock, 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 on his goat legs, and King Kisping says, "Boy, are you all right?" And Half says, "Yes, sir." And he says, "What were those guards saying to you?" And I mean, he doesn't wait for the bodies to be cleaned up. There's these two headless corpses are sitting there, and Half, in his stutter disappears, and he perfectly mimics the voice of each of the guards and recites exactly what they said to him. And King Kisping says, "Well," he says, "I will not have any of that." He says, "Boy, you need to stand up for yourself, and if you're not able to, you come find me, and I'll stand up for you." And Half says, "Yes, sir." And he says, "Now move along, go back to your stable." And so the kid leaves and goes back to the stable. And so again, he thanks you for bringing this to his attention, and he reaches under his throne and he pulls out a small lockbox, and he picks it up, and he says, if you're willing to deal with the white dragon Isentanth, he opens the chest, and inside is a pile of rubies. And he says, if you're willing to deal with Isentanth, I will make it well worth your while. I'll give you this now as a token of my confidence in your ability to deal with the white dragon, and I'll pay you twice this when you get back.
I kind of don't want to rob this guy now.
I think that that sounds like a deal. Maybe we're going to a really dangerous place, and we need to lighten our load. Could we store some stuff in your vault?
He doesn't really have a vault.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be willing to. He has, of course. There is, of course, protection and locked chests and whatnot, but he doesn't really have a vault here. But he would be willing to keep it with my prized possessions in my bedchambers. You would not find a safer place to keep it.
I'll store a +2 plate mail here, because that looks heavy and shit, and look like it'd be a pain in the ass to carry.
Okay.
And something that'd be worthy of story, and that information alone, God, how guilty will he feel if I stole that armor back? That would be kind of cool. So but I won't tell Dentry when I do it, because Dentry doesn't want me to rob him now. He's starting to like the guy.
So this lockbox that he pulls out is filled with 5,000 rubies, each one worth 10 gold pieces each.
That's 50,000 gold now. That's a big.
Oh wait, maybe this.
10 rubies worth 5,000 each.
I'm sorry. There's 50 rubies worth 10 gold each.
Oh,
Total
okay.
of 500, and this is his down payment. He says that he'll pay you twice that, and you can keep whatever you find there, of course. I'm assuming that the tales are true that a great white dragon will have a horde.
Yeah, and
I'd imagine it'd be weird if they didn't really.
Mm-hmm. You'll have a horde for now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'll go on that quest for sure.
Yeah. Do you have magic artisans in your clan, tribe, whatever it is y'all identify yourself as? The reason being is I have some schematics that I would like to be built while we're gone, and when we come back, we can use them. With the dragon eyes, I can make another set of Malachi's magnificent eyes.
No. He doesn't have anybody in the town that would be capable of doing something like that. And the reason is that Stygian, he and Asvor get kind of quiet, and like the berserkers all are looking at you like what the fuck are you doing? And why would you bring that up? And the reason is because Stygians, the majority of them are barbarians, and they are like, no, they all start making weird signs in the air, and somebody lights some sage on fire to smudge out the evil eye, and no, they do not do magic is aside from shamans and druids and the occasional witch, and this is one of the reasons why witches are so both because they're close to druids, they are liked, but on the flip side, they are also the Stygians are very wary of them. Arcane magic is a no.
Oh,
and the whole room suddenly gets very awkward.
Well, guess that was a really educational part of the conversation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says that he's aware, or Jarl Eerskil says, I am aware that there are many such items that make their way through our ports, and I do my best to turn a blind eye to it, but there are times when there are problems down on the piers with these cursed items making their way through our country. Best to keep as far away from that as you possibly can. No good can come of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your information that all the magic items pretty much being sold in your market are cursed in one way or another?
That's a Stygian
Is it your
view on
belief?
anything. If they were to see, for instance, if they were to see Malachi or Allura cast an arcane spell, they would probably be captured, tied to a post, and burned at the stake.
That wouldn't end up good for them, I tell you that.
Right, don't do that. Don't do that now.
Yeah,
but she's
don't
our
cross the line.
Yeah, but she's our damn witch. I said cut her down.
Exactly.
Well, they like our magic for going and slaying the dragon, so whatever. But anyway.
Then, I mean, since everything's real awkward and everything, Malachi will be like, "Oh, I meant no offense. Maybe we should change the subject. Rumor has it that you're looking to hire assassins."
So yeah, you bring up you bring that up, and he goes, he just gets this like weird look on his face, like, "Where did you hear that? I'm not hiring any assassins."
What are you assassins for?
I'll be like, wow, the rumor was in the town we were in on the other side of the water there was the town where we got the flying blimp from.
One of the Gunstein?
Yeah, we heard it in Gunstein.
One of the berserkers says assassination is women's work. True
Well,
warriors
you know,
don't deal
Wait a
in
second. Wait a second. Agree with him. Just agree. Like, you know what? You're right. It is. And drop it for now. We need to talk to the queen.
Okay.
Are you?
The queen might need an assassin. Maybe he don't, but the queen might.
So yeah, he
Yeah.
gives you this small chest with 50 rubies in it, worth 10 gold pieces each, and he says that that you'll have 2 to 3 times that much if you succeed in ridding our land of Isentanth.
Well, we can definitely remove your taint problem. That's no big deal. You know,
I knew
just
that was
know
going to
that
come.
just know that we really are trying our best to respect your culture. If our culture is different, we do not mean to offend you in any kind of way. That is not our intent. It's purely accidental.
And
You
he
know.
says
So
he does have question, or actually Asvor has, because she says I'm curious to know, aside from, from being here seeking Donnerschlag, the hammer of Janus, why are you traveling through our country, or our kingdom, I guess? I mean,
we're
why do you
Because
see
it looks
why do you
cool.
seek
yeah.
such why do you seek such a legendary item that may or may not exist? Why are you wasting your time?
We're going to install Queen Alora upon the throne of the Glockenstein Empire, and where she's going to rule for eternally, uh, for peace and prosperity through the land. Because we still got to give Alora that immortal potion so she can
Mhm.
reign as queen. Yeah, I mean that's how
And
that's
also,
got to go.
they
Yeah.
say it's not real, but I mean, we've already found 2 of the pieces, and so like we're like 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
Feel like it might be real.
Well, this would
yeah,
be the second out of 3. But
right. Yeah, we got. Yeah,
but when you say that, Asvor's eyes kind of get wide, and she whispers in the ear of Jarl Eerskil, and he goes, "Yes, you are correct, my beauty." He says, "Tell me, you you plan to displace Emperor Belution Cestus of the Glaucian Empire. What are some of the things that you plan to do with that vast region?"
everybody will look at
Properly restore
Alora.
peace.
Yeah, yeah. This is your turn. Yeah.
Well,
Go,
we were
Laura,
gonna
go.
stop. I think the main reason was because we wanted the people to stop being oppressed, right? They're
Yeah.
just getting the tax the
Yeah, their tax
tax
bracket
nonstop,
sucks.
Yeah.
and they don't get anything in return. So either make the taxes go down or add services, whatever people want.
And you see, King Kisping kind of nods, and he says, "Yes, the people of Siginia, we keep most of what we earn," which is bullshit, because everybody is paying a tax to Kisping, of course, or
Mm.
paying a tax to the Jarl. Anybody that lives in Viacaslau, of course, pays a tax to the Jarl. The Jarl, the way the government's set up, they don't necessarily pay a tax to Olafsvellir, to King Kisping, or whoever king or queen is. Instead, the way that their system works is that if the king or queen sends out a word and says, "I need, troops for whatever," they're kind of obligated to send forces to join some grand army, but not necessarily. And if the king or queen of Olafsvellir comes through a region like Viacaslau, it is assumed that they will be given room and board, free of charge, and they can request basically any amount of money in order to continue on. So if there was some grand, I mean, probably not in the case of public works, but if there was some need to raise an army, they could send a representative from Olafsvellir, and essentially anything that they have belongs to the king or queen who sits on the throne in Olafsvellir. But they don't send, a yearly tax or something like that. They're not fiefdoms.
Well, I mean, we're not trying to. It's when the people in charge become oppressive, so that way the common man can't live. Then things are, and they're not even taking the time to remove dangers from the area, or police the lands of people who prey upon others
Right.
needlessly. There's it's like living without a government that only the government does is take from you. And we have it on good authority based on the entities that we keep having to kill, is that they're undead.
He says, yes, I've heard many tales. We've run
Well,
into situations when we've done raid. He says the Stygian people sometimes conduct raids on the northern shores of the empire, and we've run into cases where, indeed, we've found foul creatures. Not all just undead. Some not of this world.
yeah. So we're going to bring peace and stability to that region, and by coming out here and doing heroic deeds, we bring the people of these lands will know who the queen is and know that she is a good leader, and perhaps you take comfort in knowing that you have a good neighbor.
Okay, so he kind of nods and he claps his hands, and from upstairs down these stairs here comes three minstrels, and he says, "Play us something to listen to, and regale us with tales of Styginia." And then he tells you, "Eat, drink your fill before leaving for the dungeon to deal with Isentanth." And the music starts, and pretty much the berserkers, they're still a little, the berserkers especially are still a little bit weirded out about you guys bringing up crafting arcane magic items, and they're kind of leery, but sooner or later that kind of fades into the sounds of talking and some laughter and the sounds of music in the background. Um, and that's pretty much how the rest of the day unfolds. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up for Jarl Eerskil?
Just wanting to dump that +2 plate mail that's really been weighing me down, for him to hold for us until we get back.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, he's not going to know that it's magic. It just looks like really nice plate mail.
I understand, but it's heavy, and we don't have anybody to do it. And
we'll see which way it gets wheeled off, and then we'll know where his room with all the valuable shit is.
He has some servants carry it upstairs. He says, "I will take good care of this."
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's because I can't go upstairs without looking conspicuous right now. But I mean, when I make my move, and I might not take him for everything he's got, but the klepto lust within me demands that I come steal from here again.
Right.
Do they know anything about the white dragon, like this one in particular, that's helpful for slaying it?
Historic stories that could be used to
that's
either
the only
anger.
thing I can think of to ask.
Yeah.
So he tells you, or the story that you hear, is that in ages long past, Reykjadalr was known as a sacred place of worship by the Druids and those of the Old Faith, consisting of a stone circle of menhirs and a cave where they would enter the dreaming realm. The site has always been a more simplistic nature. Reykjadalr was closely associated with the sea and the very steps that it was placed on. The menhirs of Reykjadalr encircle a large stone altar that was a frequent site of sacrifices on the solstice and equinox. The cave has an entrance to the dreaming realm and is used by the druids that imbibed a hallucinogenic tea to go on a quest of reflection. A little over 100 years ago, this all changed. After raiding the village of Danil, the white dragon Isentanth sought a new lair to be closer to what she claimed as her domain. The cave of Reykjadalr fit her needs perfectly, and Isentanth's terrifying presence was soon brought to the attention of the druids that entered. In their altered state of mind, Isentanth discovered that they could be useful to her. Convincing them that she is worthy of their worship, the druids created a new cult based around the veneration of the dragon. The sacrifices continued, but no longer in service to the old gods and the giant gods. Instead, they were simply a means of feeding Isentanth. Isentanth used the cult to draw a clan of kobolds to her lair as well. These small servants are used as guards, menial labor, and occasionally used as raiding forces on the towns and villages around Reykjadalr. The people of Western Styginia are completely fed up with this situation and are in need of heroes.
All right. That's the whole story. I'm really glad to know it.
Yes, that is the background of what was.
Do you have any
Now,
maps
A map of the
of the caves?
no
Any old maps of the cave?
and no maps that would have been created would come back legible because the druids that entered the cave were high as balls.
As a motherfucking
Yeah, they were high, and so that's why they would call those caves the Dreaming Realm. And I mean, some never made their way out. They go in tripping balls, and they would see shit. So, I mean,
okay.
Try taking some magic mushrooms and then finding your way out of a corn maze.
Mm-hmm. With that in mind, we'll tell them that, we're going to take a couple more days to shake the road off. We've traveled a long way, then we will go and rid the cave of the dragon.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys finish basically eating the whole day away, and return to your inn, and so what? 3 more days.
Question, Chris, real quick.
Yeah.
Just want to ask you something. I have on my character sheet 3 sacks of fairy hallucinogenic mushrooms. Is that the same as the bumble snort?
Yes.
Oh, so now I have 9 snacks. Okay. I still needed 5, so I would have been short one either way. But now I know I have 9 of the same thing.
Yes.
And I'd like to make my hallucinogenic,
Your
the brewing
sangria.
for my hallucinogenic.
Okay.
Sangria.
Good. Make a. I would say you probably have a 3 in 6 chance of making something taste. Either way, it's going to come out. Go ahead and roll a d6.
Does it taste good? Is the question.
Yeah, it does taste very good, and it is very hallucinogenic.
Can you taste the hallucinogenic mushroom in it?
No.
Excellent.
So
who are you gonna give this to?
You have a barrel of hallucinogenic sangria.
Wow.
That's the good shit.
Which I will carry a flask of some of it on me at all times.
Okay. So
since I have like 5 wine flasks, one of them will always be that one.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, you've got wineskins.
Oh yeah, wineskins. Yeah, I've got 5 of them that I keep on me.
But I mean, if you want to buy another one,
5's already kind of a lot.
That's true. That is 5 wineskins is quite a bit. I mean, they're only
like I have the decanter to refill them as I need, but it's more like when I want to share, I use the wineskins, or I keep something that I haven't found in a while there.
Right. Yeah. They're
when I'm
only
just
one
trying to
gold
maintain
piece
my
each.
drunkenness.
So 4 more days. So we know that Jackson is stirring his wine. Is there anything else that you guys want to do for this 4 days, or are you just resting up?
I think primarily we're resting up.
Okay.
I have 3 potions of serious healing that I wanted to divide up amongst the tanky people.
Okay, that's probably a really good idea.
Handing out the potion for them to drink takes up a whole turn, so it's like they kind of don't get used that often. So it's Dentry, Jackson, and Borman, right? Would they all take one potion of serious healing?
That would probably be a
that'd
good
be fine.
mix,
Yeah.
And it's 2d6 plus 1 HP back when you drink it. I can get those ones off of here.
Don't get that confused with the wine.
Yeah, don't mix it up. Or do, whatever.
Or do.
It's 2d6 plus 1?
Yes.
That's right.
All right.
And so, Jackson, that sangria will cause vivid hallucinations for 1d6 plus 6 turns. So, up to a max of 2 hours. And it during that time, the imbiber, whoever drank it, gets half of their hit dice as temporary hit points that you, of course, will roll for.
This is going to come in handy at some point.
So,
sure.
So in the case of Jackson, so if Jackson's a level 8 ranger, he would roll 48, and that would be temporary hit points.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
How bad are these hallucinations, by the way? Are they like, I'm tripping balls or I'm having a good trip?
You probably got to roll for that, right?
It seems like it says specifically, I wrote it, experience powerful hallucinations. So you're going to be tripping balls.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
So not the good kind of hallucinations, the bad kind.
Well, I mean, depends on, watching somebody's face melt, whether or not that's good or bad is really in the eye of the beholder.
All right, cool. Just don't look in any mirrors. Got it.
Right.
I think it was worth taking the time to sit up here and rest the characters and get the scroll of the haste. Haste is such a tide turning spell, and
absolutely.
And to be able to run around and cast it, it means I don't have to stay in my place for a round while I do crazy incantations and shit.
Right.
To make everybody haste. Yeah.
I really love the fact that in CNC that haste makes the person age because it's a last ditch spell, and it'll make you age. I think like 10 years.
We'll find some way to
get elves to take
because you're all messed up.
Yeah, it's a very powerful
save it for the
spell
elven characters, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. But I think that's all we're doing.
Okay. So at the end of your week, you pack up your gear and you head out. Let's see. Damn it. One, two, three. It takes you 3 days to reach Reykjadalr. And it is uneventful 3 days, which is, ideal. You don't run into...
Because I have my hawk scouting for us.
That's true.
And as we're moving into the area of the dragon while we're doing this, I'm going to be asking, perhaps Jackson could gather local plants and crap that would be good for us to rub on ourselves to cover our scent.
I can help too.
Yeah. Hold on here.
And definitely that's something Laura can help with.
Yeah. I mean, this the strongest thing that's going to alert this beast of our presence is going to be our smell. So if we could cover that up.
You know what we're probably going to end up doing is we're going to run into a bunch of kobolds and they're going to have like disgusting filth everywhere. And if we want, we could roll around in that.
Yeah, there's nothing more disgusting than kobolds. I mean, well,
I don't want that in the feathers of my armor. That's terrible.
Yeah, kobold shit in the feathers of your armor. Yeah, that would be unpleasant.
What I'm hearing is a lack of commitment to the party.
So both Alora and Jackson have a 2 and 6 chance of foraging. So roll a d6. You want a 1 or a 2?
A 5.
Nope. And nope. So no, you don't find in the 3 days. You don't. Well, you can roll those 2 more times.
Oh yeah, so there's 3 days. 3, 1.
So you do find the pair of you on the 3rd day. You do find some herbs, naturally growing herbs. So you probably haven't run into the. And I'd have to go through a lot of botany in order to figure out which ones these are. But the reason why I bring it up, you probably haven't run into these particular types of herbs or spices before. And the reason for that is that being so far to the north, everything that is grown in Stygiania has a very short gestation time. So they only plant crops that will come to fruition in 3 to 4 months. And so their wheat is very, it's almost like a scrubby grass. It doesn't grow tall like the wheat fields that you're used to in the Glaucian Empire. A lot of turnips, probably a lot of potatoes, although frost can most breeds of potato or types of potato are going to not do well with frost. But anything, a lot of roots, things like that. So these are not something that you would normally run into, but they are quite pungent in a medicinal scent kind of sense. I mean, it seems weird to say that, but has anybody tried ever? What is it called? It is like a turnip schnapps or liqueur. Has anybody ever tried
Not me.
So
sounds weird.
There is a Czechoslovakian brand, and I always get it around Christmas, and it's quite potent. I will tell you, it's not like regular schnapps. This shit will kick you in the ding. But I always get it right around Christmas. And everybody that I've given it to actually said, "Oh my gosh, that really tastes good." It has like kind of here's one that I know that would exist. Anise would exist here. So it's got that licorice kind of smell, but this liqueur is like it's got that licorice like hint, and then like a very earthy scent and flavor. Unless you've tasted it, it's really difficult to describe. But these herbs and spices that you find that you forage for kind of give that off. So I mean, you could crush those up and kind of rub them somewhat into your armor and clothing to, I guess, mask your scent somewhat. I would say that doing that would reduce your chance of random encounters from a 2 and 6 to a 1 and 6.
All right.
Cool.
That's a good.
And then as we're traveling, I wanted the people that don't have invisibility rings, I could cast invisibility on them, and that would be permanent until dispelled. So I mean, like if I did that, today. No, probably can't do it now. We're already at the cave. So
I would allow.
here we
I
are.
mean, I would allow. So, what were you casting on them?
I was wanting the people that don't have invisibility rings and stuff. I was going to cast invisibility on them. I
Sure.
could cast it twice a day, you know, because it's a second level spell and it's permanent as long as you don't attack nothing or cast a spell. So, I mean, in theory, I could study and go to sleep and reset and the people I cast it on would still be invisible.
That's true. Yeah,
And
you don't have to
so,
concentrate
you
on
know,
it.
right. And so when we show up to this cave, I mean, I think everybody that does not have an invisibility ring would be invisible, and I would have my second level spell slots where I would have invisibility memorized for.
So, who's getting who's first of all? I know Borman is invised because he's got a ring.
That's how he rolls.
I know that Alora has a cloak.
Yeah, which makes me like nearly invisible.
Right.
Who?
Jackson has a ring.
Jackson has a ring.
Right. Goodman's gonna have it cast upon him.
Okay. Peppermint,
And then,
I believe, has a ring or a cloak.
Right. Dentry.
I have a cloak, and then I have just like a natural ability too. The hide
I want
in
to give it.
shadows.
Right.
We'll give it to Mavis.
Yes, Mavis needs it.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dentry wants it because he's leaning into his knight thing and doesn't necessarily like the idea of being anything non
Right. That's why I
or
gave away
honor.
my ring. I had one and I gave it away.
Right.
Right. And then
Okay.
Malachi would have it, as we come up.
Right.
But that would mean that's all he could do because he'd have to recast it on himself every day. It would have to be his second because by casting a spell, it would drop his invisibility. So he would have to reset it on himself. So like day 1, he could do Mavis. Day 2, he could do Goodman. And then
Yeah, because I mean, it took you 3 days to get here. So
yeah. So I mean, Dentry could have one if he wants it then. But
yeah, I don't know that Dentry.
For role playing purposes, I have to say no.
okay, but
Although I don't know if I'd
Mira,
want to be honorable against a dragon. I don't know how are these considered bad dragons, good dragons, neutral? What?
White
they're
dragons.
evil fucking dragons.
So Jackson can roll a d6. You have a 3 and 6 chance. Yes. So what Jackson knows about white dragons? What does Jackson know about white dragons? That's a good question.
They're not to be trusted.
Well, pretty much any dragon kind of falls into that category. I mean, even the dragons that are good can't really be trusted. What does this book does? So here's what this book tells you about white dragons. They're found in cold regions. That's it. That's it. 3 words or 4 words total. Oops.
Big if true.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're not going to give Dentry the invisibility, let Mira have it.
Oh.
I mean, Mira's already displaced, so I mean.
Yeah.
Displacement is nothing, but invisibility is a whole lot more.
This is a dragon. If Dentry wants to stand out in his shining, gleaming armor and bring its attention to him, I mean, who am I to tell him he shouldn't do that?
I'm just wondering, like, I'm trying to think, would my character think that it's like not like one-on-one combat against like a normal person? I mean, this is a dragon. I
But
think
you
sneaking up
also
on these
know
might.
you also know that the spirit of the team mission right now is to go covert. When you attack the dragon, you will become visible. It's not like you're fighting invisible. By attacking, you become visible, and therefore it is honorable.
So this is
True.
So I am going to pull the description for what Jackson knows about white dragons from Castles and Crusades because it is a far better description. Other than they live in the cold. So the description. So what Jackson knows is white dragons usually lair in high glacial mountains or upon the icy tundra. Anywhere where the snow and ice are found year-round and the temperature is bitterly cold, they rely upon perilous terrain to keep their enemies at bay. Their smaller and lighter frames and their conditioning from breathing thin mountain air allow them to fly much higher than other dragons and most other beasts, and thus they are at times found far from their normal haunts, gliding upon the high winds and breathing the air of the lower stratosphere. They can ascend up to 10 miles above the ground. There, ice forms upon their wings, and the air is hard to breathe, but for the white dragon, neither of these factors are obstacles. They are smaller and less intelligent than other dragons, but are just as tricky and conniving. They tend towards violence rather than intelligence, with a true understanding of brute force and surprise. The very old white dragons occasionally engage with their prey, but usually only for a short while until their mood changes and they unleash their evil and violence, often completely at an unexpected time.
No need for honor against that thing, then.
Yeah, well, I mean, the big takeaways are that they are pissy and stupid, and slightly smaller than other dragons.
And they don't care about honorable combat themselves.
No.
They'll sneak up on you and do stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think they breathe in a cone.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80-foot long cone of cold.
Yeah. So that's that. Let's go in there and poke that thing. Maybe you ought to leave Mirror outside and
anybody
hidden.
who wants to find it.
And you have to make Dentry invisible.
Yeah, Dentry will be invisible.
Anybody that wants to can make a intelligence ability check. They want to roll under.
All right,
Yeah,
Borman.
Jackson got it.
Borman got it, and Goodman. Malachi did not.
So those that made it, just from the description of what, coupled with what Jackson told you, but mostly from the tales that were told back at Steinmod Keep, your assumption is that Isentanth is not the average adult dragon, that this would be considered a great dragon. Not an okay dragon, but a really great dragon.
Put that fucking invisibility on Dentry, and let's maybe leave Mirror outside to hide.
Agreed. Mirror is going to stay near the opening of the cave.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will lose Mirror and your warhorse up in here fucking around.
Who wants to drink the potion? Who wants to be in charge of drinking the control potion?
So
that's got to be Dentry.
So a potion.
All right.
I need to.
He's going to tank it.
Before you do that.
Yeah, we should figure out, because I was thinking it. So I know that when the potion wears off, they're extremely pissed off at whoever drank it.
Yes.
So I was thinking maybe Jackson should take it because he has the most movement.
So if you drink the potion, it will last for 90 minutes.
So,
well, we can't kill this thing in 90 minutes. We have a bigger problem.
Right, but we don't.
Okay.
But you may not want. I mean, it's not like you're gonna.
Yeah.
It's the assumption is that there's this entire cave system. You may not want to drink it right away.
Yeah.
And then walk into the cave.
And we want Jackson to have the control white dragon potion because of his movement. And if you get control of it, make the thing breathe in a way that it can't breathe at us. Get rid of its breath.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll make it show off its breath weapon towards the ceiling or something.
Yeah, while we attack it.
Show us your amazing breath weapon by seeing how much of that wall you can freeze.
Oh no, you just make it happen. It's a wonderful experience.
Oh.
You control the dragon while you concentrate on it. So,
or should we have somebody squishy take the potion, because it lasts a really long time, so movement's not a big deal. But whoever is drinking the potion, I don't know if they can attack the dragon or if that's
a
you have to cause
the effect.
let's see
You're
here.
stuck in concentration, if I remember correctly.
It
It means you can't do
says
shit.
so.
So
Potion of control. Yes, concentration. Exercising control requires concentration. Visual range. The character can only control a creature that it can see. And suicidal commands. Controlled creatures will resist commands that are deadly to themselves. Specifically, Control Dragon affects 1 to 3 dragons of a specific type. We already know it's white. Spellcasting is not possible to command a dragon to cast its spells. And when the potion's effect ends, affected dragons have a hostile reaction.
okay, we'll have Alora do it then because she does the least amount of damage.
Okay. And just,
Sorry.
yeah, that's fine. And just make sure that you use up its breath, not on us.
Yes, I can do that. That's not suicidal, so I can do it.
Right.
The other thing, divine casters, if you now is the time, you can swap any of your spells if you want.
See.
I mean, technically you can do it every morning, but I would think that you might, before entering a possible dragon's lair, you might want to look at your spells.
Yeah, let me take a look. I got a 3rd level slot that might.
What level is
Yeah, the
Jackson?
dragon.
Is Jackson only 7th level?
Jackson is probably 7. Let me see. No, he's 8. Jackson's 8.
So you got another level before you can cast spells.
Jackson got a spell at 8, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Or maybe I'm 9 and I forgot. Maybe I didn't change the level part. Let me see here.
Let's see.
Because I know I have a spell, so let me see.
No, you're right. You do get a 1st level spell slot at level 8.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So I mean, that's you cast.
You already picked it.
You cast as a divine caster.
Yeah, I picked the spell. I have it's
But you can
Thunderwave.
You can pick any 1st level spell.
Like every day I can pick a different one? Doesn't have to be the same one?
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, you cast as a druid.
So it's not like I pick a spell and that's my one spell forever. Like I can change the spell.
Correct.
That's good to know because I kind of thought I was stuck with Thunderwave.
Yeah, you every morning or every long rest, you can swap out that spell. I mean, Thunderwave's a good one, but I mean,
There might be something more situational.
possibly, yeah. Now I'm curious. Druid spell list. Detect danger. Entangle. Fairy fire is a good one. Entangle could be a good one.
Mira a normal animal, or is it an intelligent animal or a fantastic monster?
She would be a magical beast. So I would say fantastic.
Okay, it looks like I don't have a lot of good options for a 3rd level spell. I could do Searing Light. I'll do that.
Where did I put the
Thunderwave is a good one off of the full list from Treatise on Magic and Spells. I mean, I'm gonna pick Shillelagh. I'll just pick up a stick and turn it into a magical club.
I swear I saved the Treatise on Magic and Spells, but I can't find it now.
Yeah, Thunderwave is on that list, so I would.
I'm not gonna bother mess with the spell right now because I can't remember where I put it, and I don't want to go looking for spells right now.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. So you guys arrive at the menhirs, and you can see that there are these ancient standing stones that are in a circle around this altar, and you can see that just time and the elements of you're near the coast, so the wind, the salty air that sweeps in off has kind of worn down these stone stones that are erected here. Also, you can see that there are many sections of the stones that have been smoothed over for over millennia of just from people touching the stones, like running their hands along it, has worn them down. Some of the menhirs have crumbled and are now standing just a short 5 feet in height. Others are towering at 15 feet. And it is said that in the past there was once capstones that went over the top of these menhirs, but those crumbled to dust, eons ago. In the middle, there is this stone altar, and the design of the altar is obvious to any who see it. It is one for sacrifice. There's a large, oddly shaped groove that is cut through the center of the altar that allows any blood from a sacrifice to be drained into sacrificial bowls that are placed underneath it. And immediately, you notice that the altar shows both obvious dark maroon colored stains where the actual the rock of the stone altar has actually been permanently stained the maroon color from blood. You also see that there is fresh blood on the altar, and you can see that there is a smattering of blood across the snow and a large bloody smear that goes towards this cave entrance, which is the entrance to the Dreaming Realm. And you can see that the cave is fairly large. It's a 10-foot tall by 10-foot wide opening. And just beyond the inside of the cave here, you can see that there are some rough cut stone stairs that are cut into the actual bedrock of the ground that leads down. And there is just getting near to this, there is a cold, like you're standing in front of a walk-in in a restaurant. Just a cold air comes in, and you can see just inside that the walls are completely frozen over. What would you like?
Guess we should.
Did we follow the blood trail?
Yeah.
I feel brave. Man.
Yeah, you'll want to make your way in and set your marching order. These are 5-foot squares. The grid is turned on, so measurements work.
All right.
Okay.
So I guess this is our approach to the area. I'd like to listen, hear noise.
Okay. Hold on.
I'll tell you if I heard any. I have to look at my skills. I don't have that one memorized.
And you're
hear noise is 4 out of
now.
6.
Okay.
So yeah, I hear noise 4 out of 6 times.
Okay.
When I listen.
So let's see here. You don't hear anything. Well, maybe. You hear that there is, obviously a lot of sound is covered up. There seems to be a cold breeze that is flowing through the cave system in here, and that kind of mutes other sounds. But you seem to think that you can hear on the just kind of whispering on the wind the faint sounds of maybe chanting, and you can't make out any specific word.
I gave myself a light aura of 30 feet based on frostband being in the cold.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot of effect on that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Those druid things that the whatevers that came here to worship are now worshiping it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's too bad.
It's just a glow of 30 feet. I'm not necessarily sure it pings me of being vision. I mean, I'm still invisible, but
Actually, go ahead and turn that off, and I can give you a glowing light.
oh, well, okay.
You sound so sad. You're like, oh, I want it to be glowing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'd taken the time to do it. That's all.
Like that.
There.
There.
Oh, okay. But yeah, in the cold, I mean, my sword glows.
Right.
That's what it does.
That is true. That is
So,
correct.
I'm going to be looking for traps as I make my way in. And I'll whisper, here we fucking go.
Okay. So,
That's my 30 foot of movement for a round. And then, a little while later, like Malachi
yeah,
and then Goodman.
who's coming up? Who's coming up behind Borman? These are 5 foot squares. Or
Yeah.
not.
So Goodman
Borman.
will
Not Goodman. Borman.
yeah, Goodman will kind of be a little bit back, and then Malachi will be towards the very ass end.
Where does Dentry want to be?
Does Dentry have his horse or no?
I don't think that you'd be taking a horse into the cave. You'd probably leave it out here with
I
the dragon.
wouldn't like it. The horse would
And I'm
be
going to try and be
mad.
near the front because otherwise I'd take forever to catch up.
That's true. So you can go ahead and put
go
yourself
to the
right
front.
behind Borman.
Maybe this is going to keep up the rear.
Typical
I've done
cleric.
really
Maybe
well
not right
with
behind
that.
Borman only
Yeah.
because he has the whole move silently thing. Probably right in front of Goodman as opposed to behind Borman. Let Borman have a few feet ahead of me.
Okay. What about?
Yeah, so I'll even move a little bit further ahead like that. Yeah.
Like cling,
Give
clang, cling, clang.
Yeah.
What about Jackson?
Jackson can be near the rear because he can catch up.
Okay. So Borman does find a
And-
trap. He finds a trap right here. And so this is a large cave. When you first now that you've entered, you can see that on closer examination, it's made up of the rocky entrance is itself man-made. Basically, 2 menhirs with a top capstone is kind of what opens this entrance. And Goodman can tell that the construction of the cave is much newer than the standing stones of the menhirs around the shrine. So this cave came much later after the stone circle was created. The passage inside the cave always leads down deeper and deeper beneath the snow and ice. And these stairs are these crudely cut stairs that kind of facilitate an easier descent rather than just the loose gravel of the floor. And the walls are carved from actual sheets of ice, and they are cut into the glacier itself. Temperature in the cave is about negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. So in the spring, it's probably closer to -5. It's chilly in here.
We have cold weather gear.
Right, you have cold weather gear, so you don't have to worry about it. But right here, Borman finds that there are small cracks, just not even cracks, but like small fissures that are set into the glacial walls, and they are set up to be frost jets.
I will. I have I have a 100-foot long string and a bell.
Okay.
But the bell is unimportant as I will leave it put away. But so I have this 100-foot long string. So there's a string that I'm holding, and it goes, and everybody has it on their hand. And when I jerk it once, that means stop. And if I jerk it twice, that means come on, you know, and that is our communication as we trail around here. Is I have this 100-foot long string, and everybody has it in their hand.
Okay.
If you jerk it 3 times, you're playing with yourself.
I
right?
was just gonna say, if you jerk it 3 times, you're playing with yourself. So,
and I rolled a 1 on disarming the trap, so I can shove copper in the fissures.
Sure, you shove some copper in the fissures and disable the this frost trap or this jet trap.
Yeah. And then, kind of a slight jug once just to say, come on with it. And I will continue on looking for traps
Let's go ahead and have everybody roll initiative. Except for Mira, because she's not going in.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
That way we can get you on the stack and we have an order here.
What are we doing?
Rolling initiative, D6 plus your dexterity modifier.
Already?
Everybody except for Mira.
We're just having it ready for when the shit hits the fan.
Oh, okay.
Well, and that way we have an order of who's going where.
Why do I even roll initiative for Dentry? Just
because he's last.
Are you using the Venger sword?
It's the only sword I have now.
Well, I mean,
as a knight, I gave away most other gear unless it was like situational.
Oh, well, I was gonna say if you're not using the Venger sword, then you don't have to go last.
I gave the bastard sword to Peppermint, I think.
No, so she could go shield.
Yep, so she could go sword and board. What about? Yep. Oh, there's Jack. Okay. So Peppermint, you can move your exploration movement rate. I mean, I don't know if you want to go past Foreman, but you can move.
Probably not.
Up to your exploration movement rate.
I'm not going past Foreman.
Okay. What about Maven?
Does the Hawk have night vision or dark vision or anything like that?
The Hawk has exceptionally good vision, and the Hawk can see twice as far as a normal human.
But like not anything like with helping in the dark.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
An owl, I'd be okay, but in a hawk, not so much, huh?
Right.
I was gonna say because if I could, I'd use my bird to recon openings right now.
Right.
Okay, I moved to Mavis. I moved to Laura.
Okay. What about Goodman?
Goodman's gonna just kind of keep on keeping on. Follow, doesn't want to. In theory, we're all kind of moving along together.
Right. And
right, I understand. Yeah.
Borman can move.
Borman gets to a turn.
So you do find here there is another set of rough cut stone stairs that goes down to the southwest.
Yeah.
And here you can see that there's a set of rough cut stone stairs that leads to the north.
Can I take a listen?
You can.
I should hear noises.
Okay. So in addition, you also see that the passage continues with some rough cut stone stairs down to the southeast. But you do hear the sound of that sound of chanting is coming from the passage to the north, and you hear, hold on here. You hear what sounds like the croaking of frogs or toads, but it is definitely a call and answer, and there's different voice tones to the croaks coming from the passage to the southwest.
The dragon's deep in the lair. So I do my my movement. But I want to stop at stairwells and stuff and look for traps. So I'll just kind of go here and look for traps. I'm headed, I'm thinking I'm just going to keep going down deep. And in these major intersections, I'm going to kind of listen to see if I can get something, but I'm hunting a dragon.
Okay. So you don't find any traps where you are at. What's Malachi doing?
Malachi is going to be doing his bit. He's going to move up here in the group and be cool.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, 3 of
Dentry kind of whispers to the party, "If we can help it, let me fight so you all stay invisible."
Okay. What about Jackson?
Jackson. It's a
Jackson's
Jackson.
just got like eternity to catch up, but he's staying near the back of the party because that's what he said he'd do.
Okay. And Dentry.
And he just catches back up to the front because that's about all he can do is get there.
Okay. Now, hold on. Give me 1 second here.
Nope, hallway.
Yes. Oh. Second, really? All right. Mavis, what would you like to do? Where do you want to go?
Gonna move.
Okay.
We don't hear anything yet, right? Or
Shit.
Well, there's croaks and shit coming from down this way.
oh, okay.
But do we hear the croaks? We don't have the super hearing like you do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in theory, I could have written in chalk on the floor. I hear croaks this way, and that wouldn't really break my invis. It's not an attack. I could be drawing arrows on the floor to show which way I go.
That would work.
Yeah.
You'd think by now we would know how to have you tell us about invisibility, but
Yeah.
You would think, yeah, I would assume that you've worked that out.
So yeah, I mean, if I hear noises, I'll write in common on the floor in chalk and with an arrow pointing to what I hear the noises from. So people that come up in this area would know, there would be a circle around the trap. If there was anything on the floor they should avoid, written in chalk, and then, hear noises from that way. And then the arrow would be pointing which way I'm traveling. Maybe the arrow has a cool little fletching on the bottom. If the arrow doesn't have a fletching, it means I hear something, from that direction.
We have a whole system worked out.
Yeah.
You thought that out really quickly on short notice, by the way. I just want to point that out. We were like, you should have a plan, and you're like, here's the whole plan.
Yeah. I've got stuff with things in mind on situations of sneaking ahead, thinking ahead on how to deal with it. And I've bought the shit that has chalk, and I have string, and I have a bell that I have things that I can, use.
Peppermint can also go.
Okay.
She can move wherever she wants for exploration.
And we'll go there.
So, Peppermint, with her superior night vision, let me just double check this. Yes. Peppermint, roll a d6.
1.
So Peppermint is surprised.
Okay.
But these guys moving up from this this chamber to the north, you see that there are a bunch of cleric-looking guys. They're all carrying maces, and evidently they have heard some sound echoing down from the chamber, and they are moving up in your direction. I guess everybody needs to roll a d6, aside from Peppermint.
3.
So who got the ones for Wes?
That would be Borman and Goodman are surprised, I guess.
Okay.
My character's got 3s, so I guess we're not surprised. The other 2 are not surprised.
And what about Jackson and Dentry?
Oh, we got 6s. We are very aware.
Okay, so you are completely aware, which means these guys are going to do what they do.
I don't know how Jackson being all the way in the back is aware, but he was just like, nah, man, something ain't right.
Gorman should be able to see them if they're in this light, though. I mean, I can barely see them. Okay.
This one, oh, let me turn that off. God, I wish I could set that as a default. This one is going to cast darkness. Which means, look at it here. Area of magical darkness. There must be a way to do that. That didn't work.
It's all Dentry's fault because he clangs.
Right. Shit. I'll just black. No. Try this again. Ellipse. Black. That area is darkness. Next guy.
Did they just magically dark us?
Yep.
Jerks. Only we do magic. How dare they?
He's gonna move into the darkness but he can't see anything. So he's not going to make an attack. This end of this round will be the end of this week. Pick it up. All right. So they all move on up. So Alora, I mean, you can see that ahead of you, there is this globe of darkness sitting in the middle of that hallway. What would you like to do?
Can I smack the darkness with my dispel stick?
You could.
Yes. That's what I'm going to do.
So you can move up there, or move your encounter movement rate. So your regular movement rate. Which I think
can just like.
Which I think is, whoops.
30 feet. Unless I'm on a broom, then it's like.
I would say 30 feet.
Miles.
You can smack it with the dispel.
Okay.
Okay, so the darkness goes away.
Yeah.
And you see that there are a whole gaggle of these acolytes coming towards you. Goodman, what are you doing?
Ooh.
Goodman is surprised, so
that's
he's
right.
just
Goodman is
continuing
surprised.
to move up.
Gorman is surprised. Malachi, what are you doing?
I guess I need to stay there though.
Yeah, you're surprised. So Malachi.
Yeah, I'm measuring.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna come right here. I guess.
Okay.
Looks good,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I'm gonna see all them motherfuckers just right down that hallway there,
yep.
right?
All conveniently
bunched
up.
I'm gonna go to my character sheet.
Yes.
And I'm going to take one of the charges off the one of lightning bolts.
Okay. So let's see here. You can draw me a straight line.
All right. Let's see the measurement. From Malachi, drawing a straight line right on down that hallway there. Maybe.
So you can get 3 of those guys in a single bolt.
Yeah.
Okay. They need to make a save versus spells. You have 14 or better. No, they fail. They are going to take full damage. Just for shits and giggles, you can go ahead and roll your 66 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, there's no effing way. Three of them are pretty much just instantly vaporized in the swath as this lightning bolt reaches down the corridor and just disintegrates them.
And then I'm going to step back 5 more feet.
Okay.
All right. Right there.
Okay.
As I step back, we're like, surprise! And then I'm
Jackson.
stepping back.
Jackson, what are you doing?
Jackson's gonna run up to here. Oh, so now I can see some. Okay, cool. Say here.
And there was a big flash of lightning, so
Yes.
that's comforting.
And I'm gonna try Thunderwave, because
Sure.
why not?
That means
I doubt it'd do any good against the dragon, but against some cultists, sure, why not?
let me.
Thunderwave. I wrote it down somewhere.
So
Where did I write it?
An explosive wave of thunderous force sweeps forth from the druid's outstretched hands. Creatures within 15 feet of the druid must succeed on a save versus spells or suffer 1d6 damage and be pushed 10 feet away. Unsecured objects within 15 feet are automatically pushed 10 feet away. The spell emits a thunderous boom that is audible within 300 feet. So,
A little lightning, a little thunder.
Yeah. You should go in the middle of them and
so
do
this
that.
is a
do-
take damage or save. So they have to get a 14 or better. And they fail. So first of all, they all are knocked back 10 feet.
Boom, 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 boom.
So it should kind of push each one of them like into the wall and ricochet them, right?
Well, directly back from you. So.
Right, but I'm like at an angle to them.
True. And then go ahead and roll d6.
I was hoping like pushing them into the wall might give them a little extra damage. Guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like falling damage or anything like that.
I mean, if you get pushed, you get pushed, damn it.
So they all
You forget this dude.
Oh, yep. Yep, he gets tossed.
10 feet and takes 1 point.
Yeah.
They take 1 point of damage.
How far are those stairs?
Right?
And you're no longer invisible, though.
Correct.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get something a little bit more than 1 point of damage, but it is what it is.
But I
Well,
also... here.
Now we pull the whole dungeon, see? And this is how it gets fun.
Anyways,
the dragon definitely heard that.
Yeah, the whole dungeon hears this thunder clap go off.
They don't know. It could be storming outside. They don't know. It's thunder. We're in a mountainy area. It could be regular thunder. I said they got to make a check.
Oh, you're gonna run up there and hit somebody.
3 frost toads running up, but only one of them can attack. But they can't see. Well, they have a 1 in 6 chance. They do not see Allura, so they don't make any attacks. So 3 frost toads come up this southern passageway. And last one on the list, Dentry. What are you going to do with your invis self? You see these 3 frost toads coming up.
Yeah, I feel like Jackson's over there, so I'll help out right here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to move like right between these two and make an attack on the one closest to Allura.
Okay. Go for it.
Because screw you, little frost toad thing.
That
Hell
is
yeah.
going to hit. 6.
Well.
Rolling ones.
Yeah, you are. So you swing and you are no longer invised, but you connect with a frost toad and damage him. But I need to measure again. So let's see. Everybody in that ring. Peppermint, Malachi, Mavis, Allura, and Dentry because these are
Did I
giving
trip
off
a trap?
a cold
Oh.
aura, you all take 15 points of cold damage, and that will happen every round that you are within 10 feet of them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is it 15 points every time, or does it change?
It'll change every round. It's 3d6
Okay.
per round.
That was a pretty high roll. So, yeah. I was like, hopefully it's not that every time. Did you say Jackson too, or just
It would be
up to Peppermint?
Peppermint, Mavis, Malachi, Alora, and Dentry.
Okay. Dentry can take 15.
All right. Let me...
Too bad the cold aura doesn't count as an attack.
Because when we pick up next week, you will be out of your surprise round. All right. Okay, we will break here, and I will go ahead and give you guys some XP. Another 2 on that. Whoops. For a total.
We didn't get much.
No, you did okay.
We did role playing.
Yeah.
And we campaigned for the boy.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why you got a little bit of an extra bonus. Everybody gets 3,313 XP.
Holy crap. I was not expecting that much.
We're in a higher level area, man.
Yeah, you did some really good role play, and you came up with some really good ideas, so I rewarded that.
Appreciate you, sir.
String with the bells and, looking out for the stable boy and everything. You guys did really well, so I rewarded that.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, we will pick this up next week at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Hey, see you then.
Sounds
Thanks.
fun.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Catch you next week.
You too. Thank you.